I'm on a quest to collect the top 100 N64 games of all time without spending any money out of pocket. And since I'm doing this on hard mode, I can only spend 10% of the profits I make flipping stuff on eBay. Last week, I picked up a copy of Mario Party, setting me back to $39 in the game fund. Time to hit the thrift store and see what cool stuff I can find to flip. Let's go. I made my weekly Salvation Army run today and actually found a couple of interesting items. First up was this copy of Epic Mickey Power of Illusion for the Nintendo 3DS. This was a great pickup for only $4, but it was even better than I thought because when it came out of the case, it was sealed. I also picked up this Princess Zelda amiibo for $8. A bit high on the price, but the box is in great condition, and I should be able to make a few bucks on it if I decide not to keep it for myself. We had a decent weekend. Had 6 items that sold. We went to this estate sale. It's like you do the auction online, you go and pick the stuff up in person. It was a lot of really big items, which I'm a little bit hesitant to get, but they were really, really cheap. So the first thing is this vintage replica brass telephone. It's like a wall telephone. Again, not something I, probably would have picked up at the thrift store for 10 bucks. Maybe I have $1 into this just with all the stuff that we grabbed. So I said last week that that piece of Roseville that I sold, that cost me 60 bucks, which kind of paid for everything in that lot that I picked up from that estate sale. So everything else I sell, I'm going to consider my cost is 0. So this is all profit today. So we got $30 plus shipping for it. Listed it a couple of days ago and it sold really fast, which is great. I want to get these big items priced to sell, get them out of my basement. Okay, so next up is this sealed Lego set. Unfortunately, I just never got around to building it. Might as well get my money back for it. But hey, if you see sealed Lego sets, they're worth money, obviously. We sold another Lego set this weekend. This one has been listed for quite a long time at this point. It was the last one, I believe. It's the last one of my personal Lego architecture collection. So this one was listed for quite a while. I think Lego put out a nicer version of the Empire State Building. So I think there's not, crazy high demand for this one. I'm calling that a break even as well, just because I paid a little bit more for it 10 years ago. But yeah, still happy to have sold that. Next, this board game. So I mentioned I've been selling off some of my personal board game collection. I'm trying to get it all to fit into this one shelf that I have back here in my basement. So I'm selling some of those, but I also have a few that I don't normally pick them up, but I might start looking into them a little more. So the thrift store we go to, they have board games. Over the last 6 months or so, if I see a game that I recognize the name for, oh, that's one I've wanted to try, and it's only a couple bucks, I've been grabbing them. It's just not really the season of board games for us right now, so we haven't been playing them, and I've been slowly selling them off. But this one I sold profitably. So this one we bought for only $3 at the thrift store. Again, maybe like 6 months ago, with the intention to play it, and we just never did. So we finally sold it. Oh, I listed it yesterday rather, and I sold it today. So it actually sold really fast too, which again is why I'm reconsidering. Maybe I need to look into board games a little bit closer to actually sell. After eBay fees, somewhere around $10 profit on it. And I've got a bunch more that I listed yesterday as well. So hopefully a couple more of those sell too. Okay, next, this one we have no money into. This was actually a gift. And my kids just don't really play with it anymore. Too bad, so sad. My daughter's not really into dolls. So any of this type of stuff, like if she gets them as gifts, we show it to her. Hey, you want this? You want to play with this? And she'll play with it for like a day and then is just over it. We sold this, like, kind of one of these fancier kids toy brands, all wood, sustainably sourced, all that kind of stuff. It's this wooden wheelchair. Sold it for $27, free shipping. And finally, our best sale of the day, it is this 1990s vintage Trapper Keeper. So we found 2 of these at a thrift store for about $5 each. Remember that show Reboot? It kind of reminds me of that.
But I intend to find out. Reboot!
And there it is, Futuro City. Iconic 90s, like weird abstract sci-fi. We sold that for $50 plus shipping. So that is the 6 items we've got for today. Let's get these packed up. A couple of good things to pack up, so I'm pretty excited. This is vintage signed brooch. This was a garage sale pickup for only a couple bucks. Sold it on an offer. It's been listed for a long time. Sold it on an offer for $11. The next sale, I'm gonna come out here, kept this item out of the room I normally record in because it's ticking constantly. We sold this vintage clock. It's like a mantle clock. That item is all profit, and I trash picked a box that's big enough to fit it, so that was exciting. I was walking down the street today and literally saw it on the curb. I said, I think that's gonna fit that clock, and then it sold a couple hours later, so that worked out really nicely. And then the last thing I sold was this Game Boy player that I listed the other day. I picked this up from that same person that I grabbed all the handhelds from. Paid him 90 bucks for it, so it wasn't cheap. Untested too, so that was a little bit risky. But it worked, and I sold it for $180 plus shipping. Let's go ahead and get this stuff packed right now. And off for another thrift run this week. They actually had a few video game consoles in stock. This NES bundle with some decent titles. Donkey Kong Classics was probably the best one for resale, but nothing I'm personally looking for. Unfortunately, it was priced at $200. There'd be no profit in this, so I just had to leave it behind. They also had a fat PS2 and a huge Wii bundle, but again, the prices just weren't there today, unfortunately, so left empty-handed on those. Now, if you watched my video last week, I picked up a couple valuable board games, and it's definitely a category I've been overlooking. I found another solid pickup today, this Risk Plants vs. Zombies edition, for only $3. I also found this Acquire game from 1968. It's in great condition. I'm going to pick this one up too. Now, of course, the risk with board games is that they could be missing pieces, but as long as you pick up the right titles, even incomplete, they can hold good value. I'm going to take the risk on these two, especially at $3 each. A quick scan through the media, nothing to flip. I'm very picky these days, but I'm grabbing this Power Rangers DVD for my personal collection, and onto the electronics. I like to pick up these AV input switchers when I can. The good brands sell fast for good money, but this one not so much. We made some money recently on a bunch of Monster High dolls. We picked them up for only $4 each, and they sold really fast for around $15 to $20 a piece. I've been checking these bins of dolls ever since. I'll probably find some again soon. And I really do need to expand my knowledge on this type of thing. I'm sure I'm leaving a lot of good stuff behind. And as far as I can tell, I've never seen anybody else looking through these, so there's probably some untapped potential. So today we've got two pretty good sales to pack up today. The first is this Lego Star Wars A-Wing. So we picked this up as part of a Facebook Marketplace deal, maybe like 6-7 months ago. We sold tons of stuff from there. It was Lego sets. They had a bunch of lightsabers. They had a bunch of spaceships, like all kinds of stuff. And we at least tripled our money on that already. But you know, we maybe have $1 or $2 into this. So this is the Star Wars A-Wing set. The next sale is another G.I. Joe comic book lot. So we picked these up for $7 a bundle. I think we've got 3 or 4 left at this point. This whole thing, we were in for like 70 bucks. We're well into the profit at this point. Maybe $200-$300 profit out of this. That sold for $25 plus shipping. So really nice. All right, we're gonna get these two packed up. And with that, we added $23 in total to the game fund this week, giving us $62 in total to spend on N64 games. Let's go shopping. And today, I'm adding Cruisin' USA to the collection. This puts me at 55 out of my top 100 N64 games. This sets me back $20 in the game fund, leaving me with $42 going into next week. Don't forget to subscribe to see what sells on eBay next week and what games I add to the N64 collection. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.